Well, hello, everybody. Happy Friday. If you guys are watching this live with me here, welcome. So glad that you guys are here. Did I make these settings properly? Hold, please, while I check that. Yes, we're good. Okay, had to double check. First live in a while. Welcome back. So glad that you are here. Guys, Kay Marie said, do all the YouTube-y things. You can comment, subscribe, say hello, all the YouTube-y things. However, at Friday the 13th, today's been an incredibly busy day for me. I'm sure it has for you. It's been a good day though. Did it just reset to 20 minutes to go, but starting at 7? I've had vid all week, so I may be wrong. Oh man, hope you feel better, Kay Marie. And no, I don't think so. Let me see what is going on here. It looks okay on my end. Yeah, we're going to talk about MakeWellness. Shout out to the person that sent this to me. I appreciate you. You know who you are. I originally had something else planned, but today's schedule and just life, I've got to do something different. So let me fix my light. Okay. Yeah. Thanks for liking or licking the live, as we say it here sometimes. Appreciate it. Had to pick up my daughter from daycare early. Oh no. Back to school, man. I hope they heal quickly, and I hope they're able to get some rest, and I hope you're able to get some rest and get out of Top Chat purgatory. Okay, if you are brand new to my channel, welcome. My name is Erin Bees. I'm a wife, a mom, a military veteran, a certified personal trainer, and I spent 13 and a half years in multi-level marketing, healed my way out, and now I'm using all of my social media platforms to educate and raise awareness around the dangers of multi-level marketing companies and the tactics used by their reps. Let me run the disclaimer, and I'll be right back. Megan, no. Tested positive for COVID this morning. Ugh, but an Erin Live makes everything better. I hope you feel better. I hope the symptoms are minimal. Hope you're doing okay. Can y'all see my little ponytails? I have to show you. Oh, man. Look, that was the vibe today. So that's how we're rolling. We've got some cute little ponytails like the ones I used to put in Mia's hair and the Nike hat. And that's the vibe today. Thanks, Kay Marie. I appreciate you. Hey, Charlene, what's going on? Okay, so this video was posted publicly. And let me back up because I don't think I want to start there. As I was doing cardio today, I was going through some of my comments. As many of you know that have been a supporter, watcher, commenter of my channel, I do try to interact with everybody as much as I can. So today, as I was riding the stationary bike at the gym, I started to go through some of my comments and respond, and I came across some comments on an older MakeWellness video, the comp plan video that I did, reacting to Justin Prince. And I feel like this is a really good opportunity to talk about how some of these people in multi-level marketing will try and quiet people that are speaking out, whether it's cognitive dissonance that they're experiencing because they're like, how could this person be talking about Justin Prince and this company and blah, 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 blah. How dare them, or whatever set of circumstances. This is where we'll see things like ad hominem attacks, the use of fallacies in general. And because Joe posted this publicly, I'm going to read you some of these comments. And it's interesting that this happened today, because earlier today when I was going to the gym and I was sitting in the parking lot, I remember a lot of the ad hominem attacks that people that were a part of Prove It were saying about me when I was getting out. Well, I'd already gotten out by that point and started speaking out against Prove It, and how they were saying things like, oh, she's fat, she's this, she's that, making comments about my appearance, trying to quiet me. And it was kind of, I don't want to say it was like a full circle moment this morning, but I guess it kind of was, because I was like, they try to quiet people speaking out against other people falling for these types of pyramid schemes and scams by attacking them personally. And I'm sure that there's people out there that unfortunately that works for them. I know that I've had many conversations with people that want to start a channel or want to create anti-MLM content, and they're worried about being attacked. I know that when I first started speaking out, it was almost like, oh my God, these people are saying this stuff about me. Long story short, if they're going to attack you personally, if they're going to talk about your looks, they already have lost the argument. So if you're somebody, and I don't know why I'm saying all of this right now, but if you're somebody that wants to create anti-MLM content and you're worried about what somebody else says, or how they're going to react, or what if you get, hate comments, take those comments. If you decide to do it, which I do encourage, start speaking out if you feel comfortable, if you really feel like you want to do it. Take those comments, if they happen, and turn them into content. Because the really beautiful thing about what I've been able to do is those very comments from when I was reverse dieting, healing my metabolism, healing my relationship with food, healing my extreme at the time relationship with exercising. And I've taken that and those lessons and my time in multi-level marketing, and I've learned what not to do. And I've taken that and become a certified personal trainer. So for those of you that had something to say about my weight or any of those things, how do you like me now? Yeah, that was what I wanted to bring up. But fascinating that Joe would comment some of these things. It's a perfect example of an ad hominem attack that I'm going to turn into content and make money off of while educating people to not join MakeWellness. So Joe, this one's for you. This one's for you. Okay, so let's see. What was the first one? Okay, this was the first one I saw. Why do they always shout in all caps? Does that make your voice more impactful? I don't understand what you're trying to do here. Anyways, this came from Joe Hafner 8047. All caps. You don't know crap about the business. Joe, are you okay? You spelled with just the letter U. Cool. You need to start better research, comma. Y'all know where this is going? Okay. You, just the letter U, don't know crap about Justin or this company. So keep this up. And you, just the letter, will be turned for slander and false info. You, just the letter, don't know or have proof of what, Joe? That it's operating, that MakeWellness, in my opinion, is operating as a pyramid scheme. Proof of what exactly? Also, where is your punctuation? I'm just saying. You don't know or have proof of, so keep this up, or you, just the letter, will be sued for slandering a business you don't even know or own. Thank you. But it's TY. Hey, Joe, I don't know if you're a distributor in this company. This might be a lot for you to process here, but guess what? You don't own a business either. You're a contracted worker if you're a distributor that they're calling affiliates. in MakeWellness. So yikes, my guy. To which I responded, Joe, are you okay? Read back to yourself out loud what you typed here. Yikes, my guy. Oh, but he wasn't done there. But wait, there's more. Joe's keyboard is defective. Lady Poe nailed it. If I'm wrong, then why do I need proof? Also, period, comma, forever. You know what I'm saying? Period, comma, or just comma? Today it was just comma. Joe, you're not you when you're hungry. So like Charlene says, go eat a Snickers and calm down. Take a deep breath. Okay. All right. So these were his other two comments that he posted. I don't know which one was first because they are exactly 21 hours ago. So I don't know which one was first. I'll just start at the top. We'll work our way down. Oh my God. Okay. So if this is so bad, then why? What? Maybe English isn't his first language. Let's give him, like maybe that's what's going on here. I'm not sure. So if this is so bad, then why tell me why? On launch day, we had 8,000 people signed up and still growing. Till this day, we have over 20,000 people still joining. So what do you have to say now? Yeah, so bad. That's why everyone talking about and joining. So you lose. That was one sentence. That was one sentence. Let's break that down. Hey, Joe, MakeWellness hasn't even launched. There's no products available for anybody yet. There's no customers. Nobody has tried it. The products, I mean. And what people are signing up for is essentially a waiting list. Just because a lot of people have said, you know what, I'm interested. I'm not paying anything yet, but I'm put me on the waiting list, does not mean that they're actually going to sign up come October. So there's that. And why is it bad? Because it's a multi-level marketing company. It's an unethical business model, but we're going to get to why I think it's bad, using your terms, with the claims that they're making about unregulated peptides. So Joe, if you're watching, hang tight because the rest of this video is going to be important for you. So before you start commenting in all caps and losing your dang mind in the comments section, take a deep breath and ask yourself why you're so upset. Justin Prince probably doesn't even know who you are. Just chill. Okay. Take a deep breath. Okay. That was just one part of this last comment. So, but that was all one sentence. That's why I read it that way. So give up. No, because we are still groaning, because you don't know crap about any of this, comma, space, comma, space. Because you're bashing this makes you look like a loser and you didn't make it in this kind of business and don't know crap what you're saying. And it's not MLM loser. Joe, is this your first video that you've watched of mine? Maybe go back. You're asking me to do research, but you probably should research my history if you're going to say that I was not, let me quote, because you're bashing this makes you look like a loser and you didn't make it in this kind of business. You know what? Check the Carfax, Joe, because unfortunately you're wrong. Oh, that's probably uncomfortable for you. Don't care. Okay. That was his first comment. I mean, it's kind of turning into that. It was not intentional. It was just kind of how it all happened today. And I figured this is a great time to talk about this because this type of comment is what people are afraid of for those that want to speak up and make anti-MLM content on whatever platform. They're worried about comments like this. And so if you're wanting my advice, take it, turn it into your own content, make some money off of it if you're monetized, and get the word out that this type of ad hominem, this type of attack is not effective. And it's just going to make us louder. I should have done a sound effect. Ding. Anyways, next comment. Well, your, Y-O-U-R, not YOU''re. Wrong. It's not an MLM company. Now, Joseph, if that's your full name, I'm not sure. I think you need to calm down a little bit, because MakeWellness absolutely is a multi-level marketing company. Oh, this is my favorite. This next part. It's a affiliate company, dummy. Get your crap right. Sir, are you okay? And lean what you're talking about others, just acting like you do and picking stuff you don't even know or how it works. You never worked for him or did MLM or affiliate. So get a life and stop being a sore loser. That's what you're doing. LMAO. One sentence. Joe, I think you need a timeout. You seem like you're a little emotional. Maybe take a breath. Joe, it's going to be okay. Oh my God. I love that he says, you don't know how it works. You never work for him. I mean, I've never worked for him, but I was in his downline in Mode Air, so I know what I'm talking about. Okay. Also, he's saying I never did MLM. Joe, did you see the intro of this video where I said, hi, my name's Erin Bees, a wife, a mom, a military veteran, certified personal trainer. And this is an important part, Joe. I spent 13 and a half years in multi-level marketing. You missed that part, didn't you? Watch the whole video next time. Anyways, so get a life and stop being a sore loser. That's what you're doing. Okay, Joe, are you okay? Anyways, don't be afraid of these ad hominem attacks. People are going to have their opinions on what you do and what you say, and that's fine. But it doesn't mean that you need to assign value to it. And if somebody is going to attack your intelligence, if somebody is going to attack your looks or any of those things, they've already lost the argument. So, in case anybody needed to hear that. Right, he missed that part. But anyways, just a silly, goofy good time. And now I'm ready to open my favorite drink. Diet Dr. Pepper, not sponsored, but I'd like to be. I already emailed you, Dr. Pepper, hit me up. Okay, anyways, ASMR moment. So if you're not into this, just turn it down. I'll wave my hand. And what we do here, if you're new, is I open the can, hold it next to the mic. We rate how crispy the bubbles are, 1 through 10. If you're a member, which you should join, there's a button or a link in the video description that says join the channel or something along those lines. You should join. We have a good time. And so you rate it 1 through 10. If you're a member, you have a special bubbles emote, which is a lot of fun seeing that in the comments. And then we go from there. And then I enjoy a crispy Diet Dr. Pepper. And I hope you have your favorite drink too. Here we go. No strawberries and cream today. I know. I need to go to the store. What do we think? How are we feeling about the bubbles? A 7. Yeah, I didn't feel like that was as crispy as the last time. The last time, Wednesday night, crispy. It was sharp though. Yeah. My shoulders look amazing. Thanks. I did shoulders today. So thanks for noticing. I appreciate that. 8 out of 10. 8, 7. The crack was good. Bubbles were quiet. Agreed. I gotta turn this down. Hang on just a second. Okay. All right, let's get to this video. Now, a little tea that I have heard. This is all alleged. Now, do you remember Dr. Jen? Dr. Jen, I featured on another video, and it has been alleged to me that her and Justin Prince are no longer working together. And from what I understand, it was Dr. Jen that was creating the product that Justin Prince was going to be putting out with MakeWellness. So if allegedly Dr. Jen is no longer working with him, what product is he going to offer in October? That's interesting, right? That's interesting. I'm not really sure how that's going to work. Justin, are you scrambling to find a product right now? Hmm? Yeah, Jen, I believe her name was Jen Milks. Yes. Jordan, I'm so sorry. I think they broke up, and I don't mean that like, I mean in that the business sense, but yeah, that's what I'm hearing. Allegedly, of course. Also want to give a shout out to Root into Being, because a lot of these studies that I have in the video description, she did the research. So thank you again for doing that. I appreciate you. If you don't check out the video description often, you should. I put a lot of resources and a lot of information that I feel hopefully is helpful to a lot of people. So check that out too. Also, Root into Being says, yeah, on that other video, he said she made all the formulas. So what product are you going to be putting out, Justin, in October? Weird. Yeah, Dr. Jen with the many last names. Yeah. Didn't she, there was a court case or something, and she couldn't say something about DNA. I don't remember the exacts, but yeah. Anyways, will she take the products with her? I don't know. I don't know. It's a good question. Yeah, you mean the person that's not allowed to call herself a doctor? Yep, that one. Yes. Isn't it so good? Oh, it's a problem. That's why I drink the 0 sugar ones. They're so good. Liz, how many last names does she have now? Like 5, 6? Mm-hmm. Oh, that's what it was. She was not to call herself a DNA doctor. That's what it was. Yeah. Thank you. Yikes, man. But anyways, apparently this is another Dr. Jen. So they're going to talk about peptides and throw a lot of terms. And my favorite part is when I'm not going to spoil it. I have several favorite parts because I have watched some of this, not all of it, probably about half of it. Oh, wait a second. Did you all see Julie Anderson's video? Alleges Jen was convicted of writing 2,100 prescriptions without a medical license and no longer allowed to call herself a DNA expert or a doctor. Well, looks like I need to draw. I'll put that link in my video description after I update it, because I don't remember if I watched that one or not, but I'm going to. Yeah. Yeah. What even is a DNA expert? Like we say here in Quebec, what is it? What does it eat in winter? I love that. Julie Anderson's amazing. I love her videos. Yeah. Okay, so let's get into today's video, because I know I've been chatting a whole lot, but I had to read you guys Joe's comments. I really felt like I wanted to talk about ad hominem attacks. And this lighting, I can't figure it out. I'm so sorry. God, that's bright. Jeez. We do stand Julie Anderson for sure. And I did, yeah, just update and all of that stuff. Anyways, let's get finally to this video. As always, drop your commentary and prepare for some shenanigans.
A little bit about her, and then I want to bring her on, and she and I are going to have a discussion about what we're doing at MakeWellness and what we're going to be doing in the future to expand our products and our education and our knowledge and allow us to take control of our bodies. And so let me introduce you to Dr. Jennifer Fleghar. I'm going to call her Dr. P. Dr. P is our first MakeWellness Scientific and Medical Advisory Board member. Dr. P is a double board certified emergency medicine and functional medicine specialist. She brings a wealth of practical knowledge and expertise to MakeWellness. She has that practical knowledge of peptide.
Okay, but I'm going to pause him. Is this the same guy? I don't know. Dr. Alan Jones, PhD, FRSA. Is this the same person? I can't tell. I want to know who he is and what his background is. I don't think this is the same guy. I'm going to have to look into this because nope, that's definitely not him. I don't know who he is.
And their biological function from a clinical perspective and understands the power of bioactive precision peptides. Now, she's going to contribute to future formulations, and she will work directly with our science team and developing cutting edge products that are indeed the next generation of nutrition technology. Now, Dr. P is not just a physician, a speaker, an author, an educator. She's also a woman of faith, a wife, and a mom to 4 children who is deeply, deeply passionate about empowering people to take control of their own health and wellness. So, with that being said, let me introduce you to Dr. P, our first SciMed board member. Hi, Dr. P. Welcome to tonight. You're muted.
Hi.
There you
Yes.
go.
Hi.
Hey,
Hi,
Alex.
Alan. Thank you so much for that great introduction. I'm so excited to be here.
Okay, so I looked her up, and she is a former emergency room physician, and I think internalist. I'll look it up, but I got to have both hands on Luna right now. Internalist or something along those lines. What are you doing? Okay. Yeah, floof break already. Can y'all hear her? Wow, you can really see the tattoo removal doing its thing. Good Lord. Internist, maybe? I'll look here in a second. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Can you guys see the toe? Yeah. Oh, look at the perfect shot of the toe beans, guys. Oh my goodness. You guys can't see this. She's so happy she's drooling. Oh my God. You like that? Mm-hmm. Oh my God. She's definitely my girl. Okay, I gotta hang with my peeps here. Okay. All right. We'll lay together after dinner. All right. Go wipe your chin. You're drooling, ma'am. Okay. All right. Go eat something. Oh, she's so sweet. Okay. Back to what we were talking about. Okay, here it is. One moment. Here's the link. Okay, apparently she claims to be a thyroid specialist, and she works at a med spa, according to her website. And integrative medicine. But what did he say? Hang on, let me look one more place. Where is... Okay, hang on one second. According to the video description, board certified physician in emergency and integrative medicine. And she's also part of the scientific advisory board for MakeWellness. So there you have that. Now this is very bright. Yeah. So that's Dr. Jen P. Dr. P. Whatever.
Here.
Absolutely. Well, let me tell you something. We are excited to have you. I am especially excited to have you because how many phone calls have we had? How many conversations have we already had about research and development and products and synergies and all this amazing stuff? And so
Okay.
I am elated to have you as part of our team, and I think everybody on our executive team, you just absolutely fit perfectly with our mission and our objectives. And so thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, I'm so excited to be a part of Make Wellness. It really is such a great company, and I'm blown.
Is that who this is, DC? I was trying to find who he is. Also, hi. Is that who this is? Does anybody know?
Blown away so far about the passion and how we're going to change health. So it's so exciting. And Alan and I are just brainstorming, texting back and forth about what we're going to do, the studies we're going to do, and it's going to be amazing. The products that are already there for you.
I'm sorry, what? The studies you're going to do? Why didn't you do the studies ahead of time before launching the company? But people are just kind of on a waiting list until the end of October. Why would the studies not be done ahead of time? Also, what products? What do you mean? Products that are, did you hear how she hesitated? I wonder if that's because they're not going to be carrying the same products that they thought they were because of the fallout, the alleged fallout with the previous Dr. Jen. I wonder.
You guys and the new ones to come. It's really exciting.
It is for sure. So Dr. P, tell us a little bit about your medical practice and how you became interested in studying and using bioactive precision peptides.
Yes, absolutely. So I'll kind of go back to the beginning. I was working in the ER. I finished my residency in emergency medicine, board certified, and I kind of picked up on the fact that conventional medicine wasn't fixing chronic disease. People were going to their doctor, not getting better, taking the medications, not getting better. So then I went back and I did a fellowship.
That is a very, very broad statement.
In integrative medicine and sat for my boards, got board certified, opened up a practice, and I finally feel like I'm helping people and preventing chronic disease. And this is the problem right now. We have chronic disease. We have disease of insulin resistance. We have diseases of loss of muscle or sarcopenia as we age. And these things start in your 20s and in your 30s. It's not just in your 40s and 50s. So that's one thing we really need to change. And I know all of you out there are excited about this. We have to start now. We can't wait until we have the disease. We need to prevent it. So in my practice, I started using peptides. I started using the injectable peptides, and then the FDA started really coming down on that.
And why would that be? Why would that be, Dr. Jen? The FDA started to come down on injectable peptides. What? Why? Tell the rest of the story. Oh, because they're unregulated. Is that why? They haven't been studied enough. They're unregulated. Could that be why? Weird how you're not going to tell the whole story. They started making it very difficult to get injectable peptides. Thank goodness. What?
And a lot of them are not available anymore. Then I started to look into more oral peptides and then more into bioactive precision peptides. So this is a really new field. It's exciting and it's the top, right? This is like the top of the game working with these kind of peptides. They're very precision. They're working at a specific endpoint, a specific goal. And when we look at peptides versus
and please point us in the direction of those studies that show us that these peptides are precise and have a specific end result. Please point us in the directions. And while we're there, while you're scrambling to come up with something, please point us in the direction of the studies that have been done on the MakeWellness products. Oh, they don't exist. Gotcha. I don't know, but for me, if I went through all of the schooling and became a doctor, I wouldn't be putting my name on and stamping my name on an MLM company. That's wild.
Is medications or supplements. First versus medications. Medications are going in there, pushing through, doing what they need to do, but causing a ruckus, right? You get the side effects. You get, take ibuprofen, for example, Motrin. Yes, it decreases inflammation, but you get the side effects. You get the chance of stomach ulcers and bleeding. It messes with your gut health. So
Now, is she talking about chronically taking these things? I would imagine that's probably what she's referring to. Also, by saying this, are you trying to imply that Make Wellness products are a substitute, a safer substitute? She didn't say that. That's just a question that I have.
there are side effects to that. When we're looking at peptides, they're working with the body. They're chains of amino acids that are going in there and turning on or off different cell signaling.
And how do you know what cells they're turning on and off? Because I feel like that would be a significant part of the studies is what cells are being turned on and what cells are being turned off. But the studies aren't there.
That's what's so great about it. They're usually really low side effect profile. And that's the positive. They're not going in there and destroying things or giving side effects. They're going in there and they're doing the work for a positive effect, turning on.
And what are your sources for that? Dr. Jen, Dr. P. What are the sources? Because you, being a medical professional, probably understand the importance of providing a source like I have in the video description. Yeah, you should try that.
On and off genes, not giving the negative ones. So I've seen peptides work amazing in my practice. And I love all the research about peptides and the future of peptides too.
Yeah. And we're really we are literally on the cusp of what we're about to start discovering about bioactive precision peptides.
What? We are on the cusp of discovering. I can't even say what he just said. So here you are representing a company that allegedly has these peptides in their product, but nobody has tried the product in Make Wellness. And then you're saying, oh, but we're on the cusp of discovering what they do. I mean, like, just going to talk in circles. Okay, got it. Got it.
You know, we're starting off with 6 products. 4 of those 6 products have the bioactive precision peptides in them.
How much? How much of the bioactive peptides are in it? Huh? Oh, you don't know because it's probably a proprietary blend? Wild, because if they were actually studied, there would be a specific amount. There would be a protocol that people followed in an actual legitimate study. Cool.
And of course, we've already discussed at least, I don't know how many other products that we are already discussing with additional bioactive peptides. Mm-hmm. And I know we have meetings coming up with other opportunities regarding those. And so it literally is just the beginning. We are just now getting on this, you know, and the thing about it is bioactive peptides have been around forever in our foods.
Yep.
We just didn't know how to unlock those bioactive peptides and open up the potential of those bioactive peptides to benefit our bodies. And that's the technology that we're just now figuring out is how do we keep those things stable? How do we keep them biologically active? And that's the exciting part about it. So,
well, but if you're offering a product in a multi-level marketing company called Make Wellness that claims that they have these bioactive peptides, but what you're saying here is they're still trying to figure out how to keep them stable. I would imagine stable meaning when it comes in contact with the digestive system and all the acids and such. So my question is, if you're offering an MLM product that claims to have these bioactive peptides, but they're still trying to figure out how to keep them stable, how are the peptides in MakeWellness's products stable if that hasn't been discovered yet, based on what you're saying here? How does that work?
So help our affiliates, if you don't mind. Help us to understand the difference between a bioactive precision peptide and a therapeutic peptide, the injectable peptides you discussed just a second ago.
Yeah, absolutely. So the peptides that are injectable, we could use an example of semaglutide, which is Wegovy, Ozempic.
Isn't it semaglutide? Like SEMA, semaglutide? Did she get? Maybe I'm nitpicking. Probably could be, but isn't it semaglutide, not semi? Let me know.
Tesamorelin, ipamorelin, which are growth hormone secretagogues. They help your body secrete their own growth hormones. So those are larger peptides. So peptides are chains of amino acids that are usually 40 or less. Now, those ones that I spoke about, you can't take them orally. They're not active. You can't, your body will break them down in digestion. Okay. So you have to inject them, and that's how they work, right? Now, when you look at the bio-precision peptides, they're shorter. So they're usually going to be about 20 amino acids or less. So they are going to be absorbed right across that intestinal epithelium, and they're going to be activated in the body. So that's kind of the difference. I know a lot of people are like, well, how do they get absorbed? How do they not get broken down? And it's the size, and it's also how they're found in nature too, some of these. And this is where some of the raw material of these precision peptides, that a lot of it can be AI driven, where we're finding these through artificial intelligence, and then they're getting tested in animals and in humans, and we're finding
humans. Is she from the East Coast?
Finding out how well they work.
Yeah, I've shared the story about when I first started talking with Justin about coming on board as part of the science team. I was very
he's part of the science team.
Familiar with therapeutic peptides. In fact, in my dissertation, I have a section about therapeutic peptides. However, I was not familiar with the bioactive precision peptides. And so I was very concerned with that exact same thing that you just said. How do these things get through digestion intact? And when I started doing the research and really doing that deep dive and finding out that these bioactive peptides are encrypted in these protective peptide protein matrices, and it's the composition of those peptide chains and the proline bonds and the C-terminal, N-terminus ends, how those things are put together, that was all created by nature. And so nature has given us a way to stabilize these bioactive peptides that's far beyond anything that we can do in a laboratory. That's what was so amazing to me when I started to really understand that.
Yeah, I agree. And a lot of these are found in food in nature, or, saliva from a lizard, how GLP-1s kind of got discovered. So it's really cool because our body can see these and they know them. They're okay with it. It's not like a drug, like I was saying before, where the body doesn't really know what to do, and then there's more side effects. So that's what's great about these precision peptides, is that your body knows how to use it, and you're not going to see these side effects. And when you're looking at these bioactive precision peptides, you can take them by mouth. You can
see. Now, this is such a great point. Root into Being says, so we could just eat food. Because what he's saying is, nature has given us this perfect blend, this perfect protective coating that helps these to endure the digestive process, essentially. So if that's the case and we can get these from food, why do we need an MLM supplement with a proprietary blend? Like, weird. Weird.
Take them as a supplement. You can drink them. You could put them in a shake. You don't have to inject them, which is a big turnoff to a lot of people. And the hassle of refrigeration too. We don't even talk about that. And the FDA is making them really hard to get right now.
And ask yourself why. Why is the FDA making injectable peptides so difficult to get a hold of?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they are. Well, they're the therapeutic peptides are so fragile that you have to, even when you're mixing them, you have to be so careful, because just shaking them too much can actually fracture the peptide bonds. And so there's no way that you could take a therapeutic peptide, ingest, because the second it hits a hydrochloric acid, or certainly the proteolytic enzymes in the digestion, they're gone. So yeah, so these protective mechanisms are absolutely amazing. You said a while ago the GLP-1 discovered from Gila monster venom. When I found that out, and it's been a long time ago, I was say what? So how did they ever find out that Gila monster venom could antagonize GLP-1? I mean, is that not the craziest thing?
Right. And that was a long time ago too. I mean, they've been
I
playing
know.
around with different forms for a long time. So it's it's in nature, and that's what's so cool about it. And, and I know a lot of people out there are like, well, what about all these GLP-1 supplements coming up? And what about that? Well, one thing at Make Wellness, we're talking about health in general, and GLP-1 can be activated by things like exercise and intermittent fasting and consuming dietary fiber and protein-rich foods. So a lot of people.
I'm so glad she's pointing this out, because let's not forget that these two people are part of the scientific advisory board for Make Wellness. And they're talking about all the ways that you can increase GLP-1, I believe is how she worded that, through diet, exercise. I believe she talks about sleep here shortly, and all things that you can do without supporting an MLM company, taking an MLM company's product. But let's not forget that the point of them, in my opinion, bringing all of this up is because it's like, oh, see, we can do all of this, but you can also take this in a capsule form. Well, if all of this is going to take care of, whatever people are trying to battle health-wise, then what's the point of the MLM supplement? It makes no sense. But this is a perfect example of what we see, the anti-MLM movement sees, from people that are in an MLM that say, oh, well, this has this ingredient. And then they list a study that gives a specific amount of certain supplements or things, specific parameters within that study. And they go, okay, well, see, this was studied and this is what they found. And oh, by the way, we have that ingredient in our product. Well, that study shows a specific amount of that, whatever they're studying, and how much of that is actually in the proprietary blend of this MLM products or MLM company's product. Oh, we don't know. Well, you can't use the study because the study wasn't done on the MLM product. And that study had specific parameters that were met in order to prove or disprove or say, hey, we need to study this some more, whatever they were testing for, if that makes sense. I know I'm wording that kind of weird, but you can't use a study that was not done on your product. And just because there was ingredients listed or specific supplements listed in that study, just because it has that, you claim that the MLM company has that in their proprietary blend, how much of it? We don't know because it's a proprietary blend. And I feel like this is what we're seeing here in a different way. They're talking about, ways to be healthy. And they're like, oh, well, these peptides are really, really important. You can get it from diet. You can get it from this, blah, 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 blah. Oh, and we also have a supplement that you can take. Why do we need the supplement if we can get that from eating real food? I find it really interesting.
People are hung up on like, how do I get more of this? And how do I do this? Well, like,
did I miss? 5 gifted memberships. That's so nice. Also, Rebecca, thank you for being a member for 20 months. I appreciate you. And Danny, I didn't even see this. Nothing better post-workout than a live. I hope you had a great workout. I saw you messaged me. I'll get to that after this. Yeah. New members. You guys know what that means. If you're new to my channel, every time we have a new member, I do a shoulder smolder that I believe DC gave the name to. And we play this. You know what? Nothing hits harder than a shoulder smolder in a tank top after shoulder day. You know what I mean? Anyways, thank you so much, Genevieve, for the 5 gifted memberships, and welcome to all of the new members. That's so exciting. I appreciate it so much.
Going back to the basics too. And, you know, these 6 launch supplements are going to help you with the basics, which is so important with health.
Well, I think people have to understand that these supplements they are not GLP-1 antagonists like the Ozempic and the Wegovy. That's not what these supplements are. They are simply a supplement that influences, typically, in my opinion, I think it's typically
right. It's in your opinion. It's not backed up by studies.
The microbiome that they may influence a little bit of GLP-1 production in the microbiome, but all in all, and there, to me, it's a little bit misleading to say that we're administering GLP-1 agonists, right? And so I think
it's also misleading to make all of these claims that this product that we have seen from MakeWellness that nobody has tried does anything, like the health claims behind what some of these people are saying. It's not backed by science. How can you make these claims on a product nobody's tried? That's wild.
People have to be very cognizant of the fact that they're not actually getting that. They may get an herbal botanical supplement, or they might get a form of bacteria that might influence the microbiome to produce it. However, they're not actually getting GLP-1, but they're saying they are. Well, you know what? The most powerful GLP-1 enhancer is exercise.
Oh man, I love this. Notice that they didn't say the most powerful way to influence your GLP-1 levels in your body, which is a hormone, is their supplement. No, exercise. We love that. We love that. And especially as a certified personal trainer, I love that.
Exercise. And that's part of the whole lifestyle. I mean, your 4 pillars say everything, right? Tell us what the 4 pillars are. Let's talk a little bit about that right now, because it's so important to understand that this is what we're building our lifestyle on right here. And so tell us about that.
Yeah. So the 4 pillars of health are movement, nutrition, sleep, and also like meditation, breath work, right? Prayer. So you have to have those. And, you know, every once in a while, say you're not sleeping, you're a new mom or something, then you have to lean on the other ones, right? But you need those strong 4 pillars. And you could take all the supplements you want. And if you don't have those 4 pillars, if you're not paying attention to them, or your supplements aren't directed at helping support those 4 pillars of health, you're not going to get the most out of health, right? You're not going to succeed in what you're trying to do. You're not going to have that longevity that we all want, right? We all want to have longevity and not diseases when we're in our 80s. We want to be like walking, running, lifting weights, running after grandchildren, working still if you want to. So that's the goal. It's not just to live longer. It's just to have that good longevity of health and feel good. I mean, I was talking with a patient in my office today, and, you know, I feel better in my 40s than I did in my 20s because of how I take care of my body now. And that's where we all want to be. And that's where we want our kids to be and to model that. So working on those 4 pillars of health is so important. And yes, supplements are part of that. I also have.
But you didn't mention supplements as part of the 4 pillars of health, because it's not part of the 4 pillars of health necessarily. I mean, she didn't even list water as being part of the 4 pillars of health, which we all know. Like, let's all hydrate. If you have a beverage around you, let's have a drink of water. You have to have water. You have to have food. Like, come on.
That conversation today with someone, do we need to be on supplements? Well, kind of, because 20 years ago, it would be a different answer. I would say probably not, because
not everybody needs to be on supplements. If you go to your doctor and you have lab work done, or you speak with your medical professional and they say, hey, you're deficient in these vitamins, you're deficient here, we need to put you on this medication for X, Y, and Z, then yeah, but not everybody needs supplements. I'm a huge fan of getting what I need to fuel my body for my goals, along with working with my doctor, from food. And a lot of people do that. So I feel like her just saying, well, most people should be on supplements, or however she just worded that, is like, oh, and here's the supplement you should be on. No.
We weren't monocropping all our food and produce. So we actually, our piece of broccoli had nutrients in it, right? It actually had vitamins in it and minerals, but now that's not the case. Our food.
I'm sorry. Are you trying to say that broccoli has no vitamins and minerals in it? Are you trying to fearmonger people into taking your supplements? I can't even believe that.
It is mineral void a little bit. And this is why.
Mineral void a little bit. In what minerals? What are we doing? Dr. P, this is embarrassing.
I eat more meat now because that's going to have more B vitamins than you're going to get in your veggies, because they're just not the same. So
is she a carnivore diet zealot? Is that what I'm hearing? What? Yeah, okay.
So this is where we do need support. We do need B vitamins. We need some supplements now because of the toxic world we live in. So,
and how do people establish being deficient in a vitamin? They have lab work done and they work with their doctor, and their doctor looks at the lab work and says, wow, you're deficient in this, this, this. So you'll need these. These are what I suggest you take, and you take them. This blanket statement of everybody needs this because of our toxic environment that we live in, you can't say that. That's a very individual thing.
Finding high quality supplements and the right ones for your lifestyle are so important.
That's true. Yeah, that's so true. And one of the things that I know most of the people that have been on our trainings before, they always hear me talk about muscle mass being metabolic fitness. Yeah. And muscle mass, and we start to lose our muscle mass as we age.
Yeah.
When we lose our muscle mass.
And what causes that? What causes the loss of muscle mass as we age? Let's hear it if he even answers it. I doubt he will.
We lose our metabolic fitness. And when we lose our metabolic fitness, nothing works right. And so as one of those pillars, people ask me all the time, do I need to lift weights? No, you don't need to. You absolutely have to lift weights. You have to, because you have to maintain that muscle mass.
But lifting weights isn't just about muscle mass. It's also about bone density. It's also about, muscle strength and the ability to stabilize and to maintain balance. And it's about all of those things. So it's not. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I know, on your Instagram, you lift a lot of weights and you do a lot of resistance training, and that is so important. And I don't care how old you are. In my dissertation, I've got studies where they took 85-year-old people who had never lifted weights ever in their lives, and they started resistance training, and they found that they actually improved at a greater rate metabolically than people in their 50s and 60s did.
Well, yeah. I mean, that makes sense though, because if somebody is lifting weights, They're building muscle. If they're building muscle, they're burning more calories, which requires more calories to be ingested. I mean, just keeping it very basic, of course. Of course, they're going to benefit from it. Like, come on.
Wow.
So it doesn't matter how old you are. It's never, ever too late to start resistance training, strength training, building that metabolic fitness up, and just make sure you maintain that for the rest of your life, because quality of life depends on it. No doubt.
Yeah. And you're more insulin sensitive, the more muscle you have. And insulin resistance leads to diabetes, but not only diabetes, dementia. You know, it's type 3 dementia. So, and you have inflammation, heart disease, it just goes down the line. So really focusing on that lean muscle is so important, and the rest will kind of fall into place. And, you know, after age 40, we lose 1 to 2% of our muscle mass per year. And that's when, so 2 years ago, I turned 40 and I was like obsessed with protein, you know, lifting, all the things, because I don't want to lose that muscle mass. Have you seen that study, Alan, where it, about getting off the floor, not using your hands, and that's a risk of like all-cause mortality. Yeah. So we're not going to do it for you guys, maybe later, but if you guys are sitting, if you can get somewhere, so sit on the ground and try to get up without using your hands. Okay. Mm-hmm. And this is looking at muscle strength in the quads and in the hip flexors. And, you know, have you seen those? It's really interesting because when I have older patients sitting across from me at my office and I ask them to get up so I can examine them, I watch to see if they push on the chair handles or if they can just lift themselves up, because that is a big indicator of health. And you know, I don't know if you guys have noticed that watching parents, grandparents, right? So lift weights. No need to be scared of lifting weights, right? Right, Alan?
Exactly. Absolutely. You know, and I'm almost 60. And so I'm the same way. Of course, I've always, you know, being a former athlete, and I really can't remember a time since my, you know, 13, 14-year-old days that I've never lifted weights and worked out. And so I've been pretty religious about that. And it's kind of a non-negotiable for me, especially nowadays. And so 5 or 6 days a week. And then also,
you're lifting weights 5 or 6 days a week. Okay.
Walking. I walk 3 miles a day, no matter what. I don't care how cold it is, how wet it is, how rainy it is, how stormy it is, whatever. I'm getting my 3-mile walk in every day. And so those little things like that. And, you know, when you start talking about muscle fibers, we've got our type 1 muscle fiber, type 2A muscle fiber, type 2B muscle fiber. And it's the type 2B muscle fiber that's impacted by resistance training. However, what happens with sedentary lifestyle is that type 2B muscle fiber actually convert back to a type 1 muscle fiber. And so we lose the strength. We lose the basically ability to function because we lose type 2A muscle fibers. And that's the thing that, as I get older, I see how difficult it is to maintain that. And so, you know, you've got to do all those things, and you just have to be dedicated. It's a commitment, right? It's what's important to you. And this is part of the lifestyle that we're going to be educating people on, is what are you committed to? How are you committed to your health? And how important is it when you get to be in your 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s? Because it's very possible, but how important is it when you get at those ages to play with your grandkids, to do things when you're with your wife, to go travel, to have a life, to stay out of the dang nursing homes? I mean, come on. Let's don't be what is typical in our culture today and end up in a nursing home on 5 drugs. Let's refuse.
On 5 drugs. Okay, now here's the thing. What I don't want to lose the plot in all of this, because some of the information that they're saying I feel like is correct. You know, the importance of lifting weights, the importance of lifting your body. I'm a huge fan of walking and getting steps in on a daily basis if you're able to, those types of things. But let's also not forget that these two are on the scientific board that are shilling a multi-level marketing company's product that has a proprietary blend that hasn't even launched yet. So the fear mongering they're using, in my opinion, to try and say, oh, but we have a product that's going to help you with that. There's a plot. Fair. But like, I just don't want to forget that part of it, because they are saying some things that, in my opinion, are correct. But then look at who they're representing. I would not, as an MD, not that I am, but if I were, I should say, if I were an MD, I would not want my name on a multi-level marketing company. I would, there's no way. That seems like such a liability, such an unnecessary risk, because if peptides did what they're saying that they do on this video, and had legitimate studies, it would not be rolled out by a multi-level marketing company. There is a very real reason why the FDA is cracking down on injectable peptides, on unregulated peptides. And I find it interesting that because supplements are unregulated, typically by the FDA, that they're able to do it this way. And we don't know how much is in it. We have no idea. We don't even know exactly what these peptides do, but there are some resources in my video description on studies and such on peptides. So check them out.
To do that. And so let's go do the things that we can do. So with that, I think that's a perfect segue to my next question, because I would love for you to kind of explain how bioactive precision peptides, what their role is in influencing human physiology, and how much of an impact can BPPs have on human physiology, in your opinion?
Before she answers, notice the question. How much can they have? How much can peptides have as far as an impact on human physiology? Not how much have studies shown that peptides impact people's physiology. No. How much do you think, in your opinion, these peptides could have potentially on people's physiology? Listen to her answer.
I think really big, because when you're looking at peptides, they're going in there and they're turning on genes and cell signaling that are turned off from epigenetics, from our environment, from stress.
And how do we know if there's not enough adequate studies on these peptides? How do we know what cells are being turned on or off? How do we know that? We don't? Oh, got it. So it potentially, could it be turning on cancer cells? Could it be turning on things that are detrimental to people's health? We don't know, because it hasn't been studied enough.
So we're just making things better. Okay. And I'd love to talk about my favorite that I've been using, that I've been using in my office, Peptide Strong, and it is in Fit.
And how much of what did she say? Peptide Strong? I'm assuming that's the name of the peptide. How much of that is in the MakeWellness product that she's referring to as Fit? How much is in there? Oh, we don't know? Cool.
And this precision bioactive peptide is amazing. So talking about muscle, what this is going to do to change how people work out. A lot of people don't like that post-workout muscle soreness.
Here we go.
I don't know how many people that are watching that know what I'm talking about, right? You go to the gym, you're lifting, and the next day you can't walk. Like my husband's like that. And you don't want to go back. You're like, I don't want to be sore for 3 days.
Okay. First of all, let's not villainize working out and lifting weights. Second, this is a very, very broad, general, sweeping statement, because are we talking about people that are new to the gym? Are we talking about people that have an established routine that they enjoy? What are we talking about? I have specific questions, because if you are somebody that is brand new and you just started working out at the gym, maybe you started working out with a trainer if you need one. I happen to know one. AaronBees.com. If you are starting off, the last thing that you want to do is go too hard, or as a trainer, push a client too hard, too quickly, so that they are so incredibly sore that they cannot function. That is not the goal. The goal is to walk people through movements based on their goals that help them to achieve said goals and allow them to live their life and integrate fitness into it. And if you are pushing your clients so hard that they are so sore that they do not enjoy exercising, it's going to be 10 times harder. I shouldn't say 10 times. It's going to be significantly harder, in my opinion, for them to come back and do it all again the next time they're supposed to meet with you. That is not how you train people. That's not it. If you are working out in an extreme way, that's not how to do this. So this broad, sweeping, general statement of, if you're so sore that you can't walk the next day. Well, I have so many questions. Did they start a new routine? Are they new to the gym? Are they trying a new exercise? Because that's also going to make you very sore if you're starting something new. I just feel like this general statement is so problematic. It's very clear that, in my opinion, she has no idea what she's talking about. And this is just fear mongering. And why? Because she wants you guys to buy these peptides in a proprietary blend from a multi-level marketing company. Like, come on, stop it. Stop it.
So this through inhibition of myostatin, Peptide Strong, which is,
and also you're not always going to be sore from every workout. That's not how that works.
Which is in fit, the amount that you need that is going to inhibit myostatin, increase muscle synthesis, your calf muscle. And you can't lift as hard and you want to preserve that muscle mass. Well, Peptide Strong has studies showing that is what.
I do enjoy a good pump after the gym, though. I do, especially like upper body pumps. Oh, okay. We love that. By the way, those of you that lift weights, I'm just curious, would you rather type in the comments, or replay crew, you can do this too. That would be cool. If you're somebody that lifts weights, do you prefer upper body or lower body workouts? For me, upper body all day long. I will work out upper body. I won't complain about it, but leg day, that's a whole nother animal for me. Let me know in the comments what you guys think.
What it does. So it's going in there, and these precision peptides are working with the body to help it heal, to help muscle stay where it needs to go. Or
what? What?
Bombastic side eye.
The peptide helps muscle stay where it needs to go? What are you talking about? What is happening?
Stay where it needs to be, inhibiting myostatin so you're not sore after. Really amazing things. And it's just cutting edge technology that everyone needs to know about. Everyone needs to know about that product for sure. It's one of my favorite. Peptide Strong is.
Let me ask you a question, because one of the things that you just said really triggered something in my mind, and that is this: GLP-1 antagonists. Yeah. In fact, I was on a significant call with many physicians yesterday, and we got into a big discussion about GLP-1.
Right.
And one of the things that every single physician on that call, that they use it in their practice, but the thing that they are most concerned about is about
what type of physicians? Can we just not be vague in general in these statements?
50% of the weight loss from the GLP-1s is coming from muscle mass. Yeah. And so they are worried sick about the ramifications of that, the repercussions of that in their patients' later lives.
Yeah.
For me, being a sarcopenia expert, it scares the living heck out of me, because all of a sudden you might lose 30 pounds, but you've lost 15 pounds of muscle mass. And you think about it this way. So muscle mass, if we've got a 100-pound person, your muscle mass, let's say we've got a 150-pound person, okay? Your muscle mass out of a 150-pound person is about 60 pounds. all of a sudden you're 150, you wanted to get down to 120. So you lose 30 pounds. And all of a sudden you've lost 15 pounds of muscle mass out of your 16 pounds. And guess what that is? That's 25%.
What are you talking about? How are these people losing weight? What are they doing? What are you talking about? I mean, are these okay? Are these people just not eating and that's how they're losing the weight? Are they in such an extreme calorie deficit that their body is having to use muscle to keep the body going? What do you mean?
Of your muscle mass gone. And I don't think people realize how significant and scary that is, because the long-term repercussions of that is going to be massive. It's going to lead to chronic illness. You talked about chronic illnesses and diseases right now. Loss of muscle mass is a significant cause of virtually all chronic illnesses and diseases. So for me, it scares me to death when I start hearing things like this. So with that question being said.
Oh my God. Amanda Bailey, member for 6 months. I'm a bit late, but these two seem sedated. Thanks for being a member. Appreciate you.
How can Peptistrong, how important?
I think he's talking about being on GLP-1 medications. I think that's what he's talking about.
Is it to take Peptistrong?
Yeah.
How important is it to take FIT in our bioactive precision peptides when you're taking a GLP-1?
I would say everyone should be on Peptistrong. Yeah.
Oh, of course she's going to say everybody should be on it because she's part of a company that's allegedly selling these peptides. And
that's a non-negotiable. When I put a patient on a GLP-1, I'm like, you have to be on Peptistrong. You have to be on it. So you should be pairing these with FIT, because then you're not losing that muscle mass.
FIT is their MLM product in MakeWellness. Yeah.
Plus, they should be hitting protein goals no matter what. I tell my patients, you have to eat your 30 grams of protein per meal. Even if you're not super hungry, just eat your protein then. And they need to be lifting weights still. And then layering that extra precision peptides, Peptistrong in there, you're going to get another safeguard. When we look at the studies with GLP-1s and then GLP-1s GIPs, so
she is capable of citing studies. She is very capable of it because that's what she's doing here. But when it comes to the peptides, oh, no, we're not going to do that.
The tirzepatide, right? The second generation. And we look at what happens after you get off of them, because I'm a firm believer in therapeutic peptides should be rotated. Your body needs a break from them. Okay. You can't just be on them 24/7 the rest of your life. We rotate them. And, clinicians in the peptide world, you rotate your, ipamorelins, you rotate your GLP-1s, you rotate all of these therapeutic peptides. So these people are on the GLP-1s just all the time, which I don't really agree with that. And then when you get off of them, because these studies show them getting off of the GLP-1s and the GLP-GIPs, and what it shows is that their basic metabolic rate has dropped. They're not burning as many calories as they did.
I love that this was posted publicly and this person just screen recorded it and posted it like that. I love that.
Before. And if you think about it, how much of that is from the muscle loss? Because we know the more muscle you have, the higher your basic resting metabolic rate is.
Correct.
So when you're taking Peptistrong, when you're taking FIT, you're going to be increasing and keeping your muscle while you're trying to, maybe lose weight with lean, which is
I'm sorry. Does she not understand how body recomposition happens? Building muscle, burning fat at the same time. You don't need an MLM product to do that. You don't need a thermogenic. You don't need any of the crap that the wellness industry wants you to buy. You don't need any of that. This is wild to me.
Another product, but you're balancing that you're not losing muscle, because muscle is easy to lose. I mean, ask anyone that's had to be on bed rest or broken arm, right? My son just got his cast off and his poor little forearm muscles, we had to build them up. He had to have a squeeze ball.
Yeah, of course, because that's what happens when you have an injury and you're recovering from an injury. What is happening?
It makes sense. This is biochemistry, what the things we're talking about. It might sound complex, but it's not.
No,
It's biochemistry. Make sure that you take MakeWellness Lean and Fit. What's in it? Oh, we have peptides. Oh, okay. How much of the peptides? Oh, it's a proprietary blend. We could tell you, but we'd have to kill you. What are you? For legal purposes, that was a joke. What are we doing? All of these things you can do without supporting an unethical business model. This is, and this woman used to treat people in the ER. Also, why doesn't she work in the ER anymore? Why is she not working in that field anymore? I have questions.
it's really not. And when you're adding things, and this kind of brings into another question, is that when you look at bioactive precision peptides, those are exogenous peptides that we consume outside our body. But when you look at endogenous peptides and hormones and things like that, now all of a sudden you're dealing with feedback loop mechanisms and things like that. So
are you an endocrinologist? No?
How important, you talked about cycling on and cycling off therapeutic peptides, but do we have to do that same thing with the bioactive peptides? Is it necessary to cycle on, cycle off with those as well?
Oh, no.
Not that we've seen in the research done on these, that you don't really need to take a break on these. Now, some people...
I'm sorry, the research done on what? Are we talking about bioavailable peptides, or are we talking about the MLM products? And also, what research? What are you talking about?
People might, but the research says that we really don't have to, and that they're safe. So a little bit different from the therapeutic peptides in that standpoint. And you brought up a good point. The examples of peptides we make inside or endogenous are things like oxytocin, insulin is a peptide, growth hormone is a peptide. So there's peptides that we make inside that, insulin is always in our body floating around. We don't want it to be too high though, because then that's insulin resistance. So, peptides are kind of all around us, but these precision peptides are just really cool. They're from nature. Our body likes them and going to do good things.
Yeah.
Ma'am, what? Our bodies like them, and they're going to do great things.
I was fascinated by the number one, the structure of them and how that impacts physiology, but also fascinated by the half-life and how important the half-life of the bioactive precision peptides are compared to the half-life of a therapeutic peptide.
That was deep.
And there's a significant difference. And that's one of the things that prevents that whole feedback loop mechanism from becoming overactive in the bioactive precision peptides. And so it really is, there's a ton of built-in protective mechanisms. And look, we're in the process of writing a really, really good, very deep paper on bioactive precision peptides right now, and our FIT product. And we're going to have one for each one of our bioactive precision peptide products as well. But
in that paper, are you going to mention how much of the bioactive peptides are in the product, or no? Just going to write an opinion piece and call it a paper and put it out there? Listen, I just feel like they're trying to sound like they're so legit, but at the end of the day, it's a multi-level marketing company. And if these peptides were as incredible as they're trying to make them seem, it wouldn't be rolled out by an MLM company.
There's going to be a lot of really good, really deep information in there. And I know we're not going too deep tonight because we just don't have the time to get into studies and what the studies are showing. But that
I
information,
mean, see, but I think if you're going to say all of this with your whole chest, you should probably lead with the studies. You should probably cite your sources. You should probably make that available to back up the things that you're saying, but you haven't done any of that. Research shows, sir, what research? Where can people find it? Oh, it's not there on the products. Got it.
information's coming. It's going to be out there. And then on top of that, we'll do calls with healthcare practitioners, clinicians, and colleague to colleague type calls as well. So I'm excited about that. But, I think tonight our most important purpose is to get a general overall feeling of how beneficial these bioactive precision peptides. And so with that said, I mean, how has our understanding of BPPs improved and increased over really just the last 18 to 24 months even? I mean, there's been a significant amount of data coming out just in the last 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, the studies have increased. There's a company using AI technology trying to find out more because there's so many of these precision peptides out there, and they have these specialized activities, and they're going and doing their job, and they're not accumulating in the body, like you were talking about. They're not sticking around these long half-lives like you get with drugs or other supplements. And so they're not going to have that toxicity because
what supplements are you comparing this to? The amount of vagueness in this video is unbelievable to me. If you're going to compare specific things and you're coming from a scientific background, you would think that they would be able to speak very specifically and say, when comparing this to this, according to this study, according to this research, it showed that blah. No, not any of that. She's just blanket and general statement, all over the place. General statements, just you get a general statement, you get a general statement. We're all getting general statements.
Even some supplements can be toxic if used the wrong way.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And some people, they go on Amazon, which I would never recommend getting supplements off of Amazon, but they could have heavy metals.
Oh, but we should get the supplements through the MLM company that you're a scientific advisory board member on, right? Come on.
Metals in them. They could be something that you don't know what they are. They're not tested. So you have to be.
Are your MLM products tested, Dr. P? Wow.
Very careful out there. And, just knowing that not everything is safe just because it's from nature, right? But those are supplements. These are these precision peptides that are meant to be used in the body. And that's what makes them.
And that's why they're in food. Listen, I feel like we're getting punked here. I feel like Ashton Kutcher is going to pop out. Not that I'm a fan of him, but I feel like he's going to pop out and be like, gotcha. Because what?
So special.
Wow.
I love how the artificial intelligence helps us to identify them. And then from there, we're able to build the technology to basically isolate them, concentrate them, and protect them at the same time so that we can ingest them instead of having to inject them. Yeah. And that's one of the most important components of this technology is how these things, the hydrolysate product or the hydrolysis process that creates these hydrolysates that are so stable and so biologically active. And so again, that I get really deep into the paper and we talk about that. And so that's going to be additional information. But when you start looking at So right now,
It really
I
would
read a
be.
study earlier today that said that there were about 60, and we always talk about, one of the things that we know is that the vast majority of drugs, pharmaceuticals, are derived or discovered originally in nature, and then they take components or derivatives of those natural compounds and they create pharmaceuticals. And so we know that pharmaceutical companies are looking at the bioactive peptides now so that they can.
And the pharmaceutical companies will run it through proper research and testing before it's rolled out to the public. There's a scientific process to it. Unlike MLM companies.
Try to go copy them and create their pharmaceuticals. In fact, I saw a study today that said that currently there are about 60 approved, FDA approved, and they would be considered precision peptides at that point for different things, like you were talking about insulin and growth hormone and so on and so forth. But there are about 60 of them that have been identified in nature, synthesized, and approved. But there's another 500 more that are in some stage. And there are literally millions and millions that have yet to be discovered yet. And that's the importance of the AI that you keep talking about, that we can identify those peptide fragments that have this physiological function that we're talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the research behind PeptiStrong, that's why I fell in love with it so much. I mean, actual human studies with muscle tissue biopsies, which, to get volunteers for that, it's a little difficult. So also studies in mice, they looked at Achilles tendons, they suspended little mice, little mice legs, and the muscle, if you look at the actual tissue slides, just looks strong and beautiful still. That took the PeptiStrong versus the
people are not mice.
One that just took whey protein just to keep up with protein goals. So, I mean, this is really working at that level of the muscle, at the biological level, these precision peptides. And that's the future of medicine. I mean, that's what I'm here for. How do we have that longevity? How do we keep muscle? Because muscle is the longevity organ. And this is why this is such a big, awesome product. I mean, how do we get this? How do we get peptides? How do we get precision peptides into everyone's hands and not just a few? And that's why this is so important.
Yeah. And so with that said, I mean, how do you envision the role of these bioactive precision peptides in personalized medicine? I mean, to me, that is where we can get, and we are going to get, really creative.
Oh, I can't wait to see the distributors and MakeWellness get creative with the marketing of this. If you guys see anything, feel free to send it my way. You can do that through my website, erinbees.com.
Yeah, I think just the everyday person using them, because every one of us just walking around, we're exposed to toxins. We have life stress. We have things come up where maybe we can only get 10 minutes in the gym one day because we wake up late or a kid is sick. So supporting that part, like obviously so many of Americans struggle with weight, with metabolic flexibility, right?
That's right.
And we could do teaching on fasting and how you incorporate fasting in with these bioactive precision peptides, and how we use them to help with sleep. So there's so many things that are coming out that will just help with your lifestyle, help with the 4 pillars of health. Because I honestly,
her 4 pillars of health did not include water. I just want to point that out again.
I think we all need help. I mean, I use precision peptides daily. I sometimes use therapeutic peptides. I take supplements. So we really need these things. We just live in a different life. It's not like 50 years ago where we just didn't have to worry about it. We kind of have to be proactive about our health nowadays. And trust me, you don't want to you don't want to be in the hospitals. You don't want to, like, it's too late, right? You don't want a chronic disease, because I still work in the emergency room. And that's why I'm so passionate, because I don't want people to end up there for chronic diseases. It's not good.
No, it's not.
She still works in the ER and she's working with an MLM company that's operating as a pyramid scheme. That seems quite unethical. I feel like all of this is unethical. I feel like.
And they're literally chronic disease, and the chronic disease burden on our healthcare system right now is literally out of control. And so, if we can, not if, we will, and we have an objective to teach people how to get control, how to be accountable for their lives, how to be accountable for their bodies. And look, we know we're starting off with 6 products right now, and we know that not every product works for everybody. Every single person, they have individual biochemistries, and everybody's biochemistry is different. Even though 99.9% of it can be exactly the same, that little bitty 0.1% can be dramatically or cause dramatically different outcomes for people. And so that's the reason that we've got to have a product line that people can say, okay, this product works for me plus this product. And we create these synergies. And, the first synergies that we've created really have been the fit, the lean, and the hydrate, and how important those 3 products are together. Because if our cells aren't hydrated, if we're not homeostatically balanced between intracellular and extracellular fluids, then that cell signaling cannot process properly. And we can't hit our target inside the cell from outside the cell from various parts of the body. It's just not going to happen. And then you've got the lean, which is really geared more towards satiation and helping us get some discipline with our appetite.
Okay, so it's an appetite suppressant, which means it's going to influence the amount of calories that you're taking in. Or you could just track your calories and monitor that without taking an MLM product. This is wild.
But then it's the lipolysis benefit to it as well. So most of us have a lot of calories, a lot of energy stored up on our bodies that would not hurt us to utilize. And I'm one of those. And I cannot wait until our lean is here, because that's probably
hasn't even tried it. He hasn't even tried it. I can't wait until it's here. Why isn't it here? Why are you talking about the products? Why did this company launch at the beginning of August? Why are all these people signing up to be basically on a waiting list? Why nobody has tried this stuff? Unless they're like secretly sending out samples or something to certain people, if the product even exists. This is
product for me right there. And so, when we've got fit for muscle protein synthesis and inhibition of muscle protein breakdown, and then we've got lean for thermogenesis, energy production, and fat burning, fat consumption. And then we've got hydrate to keep everything hydrated and flowing smoothly to and from.
You don't need a thermogenic. You don't need that.
That's a huge, huge system for us right there with those 3 products. And so, and then we've got our next 3 products and how they fit together. So we've got a body system, we've got a brain system, and then we're going to have all kinds of other products that are going to affect different parts of the body, and internal and external, and you name it. And it's going to be really exciting to work with you and our SciMed board on building all of these products and building our systems. And
Aaron Bees, I texted you something earlier that may be relevant now about samples. What? Hold on. Oh. So one of the admins of their group got samples with a note. It says, "Thank you for partnering with MakeWellness. We appreciate your time and effort in sharing our vision of MakeWellness during the pre-enrollment phase. We understand the excitement to experience MakeWellness bioactive precision peptide products at this early stage, and we share that anticipation. Hold on. Are they testing this product on their distributors just like Modere did and does allegedly? Yikes. We have recently produced a limited supply of samples as one of our top pre-enrollers, a top recruiter, essentially. You have been selected to receive 4 sample sets. While we wish we could provide samples to more than 30,000 pre-enrolled affiliates. By the way, they're using the term affiliates for their distributors. You know, every company they call their distributors something different. For example, Modere is social marketers. In Monet, Mona, as I call it, it's market partners. In Prove It, it's promoters. Every company calls their distributors something different that's not distributors. So MakeWellness calls them affiliates because they're trying to confuse people and make them think that they're affiliates, like affiliate marketing. It's not. Anyways, it is not feasible at this time. Please note that the samples are not in their final packaging. I'll show you the picture here in a second. We recommend using one set of samples for personal use and sharing the other set with team members or potential affiliates as you see fit. This will be the only time that we'll have samples available until the finished product is ready for purchase. So the product's not ready for purchase. Is the product even ready at all? No, because they said they just made a bunch of samples. Cool. Thank you for your hard work and enthusiasm for MakeWellness. We are off to a great start, and this is only the beginning. Hold on, I'm going to save this picture, and then I'm going to crop the name out of it. One moment. Thank you for sending that, Charlene. I didn't see that. Okay, let me send this to my computer here. Yeah, probably cheaper if they do. Yep. Thanks, Charlene. Thank you so much. Okay, let's open this. Let me change it to a PDF here. Let's put this under, I'll just put it here. Can I please type? Thank you. Okay, let's upload it here so you guys can see it. All right, here we go. I feel like that was the fastest that I have ever done that. Usually it takes me a hot minute to do it, but this is how they sent the samples out. Yeah, to their top recruiters in a company that hasn't launched yet. By the way, do y'all think it's weird that they're celebrating all of these rank promotions for people that have just signed up basically to hold a spot? What happens when, you know, only a small percentage of them actually have their card processed come October? What happens to all of the rank advancements? How does that work? Yeah, so professional. Yeah. Looks like M&M mini packaging. I haven't had those in a long time. Yeah, it reminds me of maquillage makeup. In my opinion, it's kind of scary that they're testing out their products on their distributors. Yep. They're not the only company allegedly that has done that and continues to do that, unfortunately. And I agree. It is scary.
So let me ask you kind of one final question. We've been on here about 45 minutes, so we're really about 15 minutes longer than what we should have been. And I apologize for that because I told you it was going to be about 30 minutes. And so
okay.
we've just been talking away. But so as a healthcare practitioner, as a clinician, what advice would you give to other researchers and clinicians that are looking to utilize bioactive precision peptides in their clinics or their areas?
Yeah, you gotta build on it. So your patients are sitting there, you know what they need. If they need help with muscle, if they need help with losing weight, fit and lean are going to be a great combo.
I'm sorry. You are, did I just hear that right? She's talking about selling this to her patients or advising people in, I can't even sit still because that is like, I can't believe she just said that. Are you going to be promoting this to your patients when you see them in the ER? Are you? Wow. The layers of unethical behavior here is, it actually has me kind of speechless. Wow.
And getting in the precision peptides so their body can work with itself instead of against itself. Because I feel like a lot of the times when a patient comes in, they're not seeing a lot from their supplements or they're getting frustrated. So these precision peptides, they're bioactive. They're going to support. They're gonna notice it a little bit more. So that's what's good. It might give them a little bit more hope. This is just new technology too. It, like Alan said, it's old. It's been around, but we haven't actually been able to utilize these products like now. So these precision bioactive peptides are ready. It's game time now, and they're ready to shine. So this is just a great adjunct to use, like with the basics of health. And that's Alan and I. We've talked back and forth teaching you all how to teach your clients, your customers, how to be healthy and live healthy and be proud of being healthy, and passing that on generations to generations is where our hearts are and our passions are. So, and we also talked about maybe doing a fit and lean study. I mean, Alan and it's go time.
What do you mean, maybe? If you're going to make these claims about the product, I think the bare minimum would be, before making the claims and launching the product, that the studies should be done to back it up. Because I think it would be quite significant if the company said, we did these legitimate studies, they're peer reviewed, we made sure that we went through all of the proper procedures, and here's what we found. And study it in a legitimate, or with a legitimate group of people. Just, you know what I'm saying? And then launch the product, and then say, listen, like, you know how easy it would be, how much easier it would be to sell a product if, whatever product, like, I'm not talking about MLMs in particular, but if there were studies that said, see, this is what our product does. Here's our legitimate study. Here's our peer-reviewed study. Here you go. Check it out. And they would just have to stand back, and the people that were looking for it would find it. This seems so backwards. Okay, so you're going to pre-launch, you're going to recruit people. You're going to have rank promotions. You're going to make all kinds of claims about these products and, these bioactive peptides, and you haven't done studies on these products. But you're using being an MD as a way to say, trust me, bro. And then talking about basically prescribing them to patients. Wow.
So
it is.
We're excited for everyone to be involved, and as excited as we are about this. I've been so excited. When did we start talking, Alan? A month ago?
Oh, it's been several weeks ago. Yeah. And we had to talk through a lot, and you had to get really, really comfortable, with our objectives and our goals and our intentions. And, I think you've seen our intentions, and especially Justin Prince.
We see your intentions, and I'm very well aware, in my opinion, of Justin's intentions.
His intentions are absolutely pure.
Right.
And anybody that says otherwise is an absolute fool, because they just don't know that guy.
Okay. So very us versus them. You're either with us or you're against us. Very, very culty of you. I love that you said that. People can have opinions of other people, and that's okay. And if a business is legitimate, it should be able to withstand people saying, hey, this is weird or whatnot, having their opinions on what the company is doing, what they stand for. It should be able to handle criticism. So the fact that this guy, who allegedly used to be in Modere, DC sent me a link to an article, and it looks like he was a part of Modere. So he's, in my opinion, very aware of what he's doing. He's very aware of the anti-MLM movement. I'm sure of it. But I don't know that I've ever covered him. However, I will be covering him more. Yeah, you're going to see him again. You're going to see Dr. P again. We're going to, yeah. Anyways, yeah, that's better said. Truth can withstand scrutiny. Thank you. I appreciate that. Better said. Much better said. Does Alan go by Joe on YouTube? Oh, does he? I don't know. Yes, they would get into trouble unless they have an agreement with the hospital. I mean, call us a fool then. Call us a hater. Don't really care, Alan. What you are doing is unethical. Yeah. So you can be upset about it, just like Joe was at the beginning. Do not care. Okay.
And
That's great.
I mean, let me ask you this. What was the first question? I think it actually floored you because we were doing our executive team interview with you and he took over. And what was the first question that he asked?
When was the interview?
Oh, I think he asked me about my family.
That's right.
Yeah.
Tell me about your family.
Ew.
Yeah.
He was concerned more about your family than everything else. And
I'm sorry, in a business interview, in a job interview, Justin Prince was more concerned about your family. None of his business. How about that? How about some professional boundaries? Can you imagine going into a job interview and them saying, tell us about your family? What? Why do you want to know about my family? Why do you want to know about my kids and my husband? What are you talking about? That's none of your business. I'm here to interview for the job. I feel like the only reason Justin would be doing that is so that he could learn how to manipulate her. In my opinion, not stating that as a fact. That's disgusting.
And I think we are all that way. It's family first. And we consider everybody involved in this company as part of our family. And so it's our objective as scientists and educators and teachers and formulators and product developers. That's our objective, is to make sure that our family is healthy and get them out of these generational curses and do what you just said and build generational health and wellness and everything else that comes with that as well. And so I tell you what, I thank you so much for joining us tonight and being here. This is not the last time you'll be here. I know that. And you're going to be doing lots.
It's definitely not going to be the last time y'all are on my channel. Absolutely
teachings
not.
And education and trainings and
absolutely
a very active member of our team. And I am very excited to partner with you and have you on our team. So Dr. P, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks everyone. Talk to you guys soon.
Goodbye. Done with you. That was horrific. Are y'all okay? I only watched about half of that, I think, but I was not prepared at all for that last half. Not at all. I'm in HR and my mouth literally dropped at the comment about the inappropriate interview question. Yeah. Can you imagine? Yeah. The fear mongering, the being very selective about what research they're talking about and what research they didn't want to talk about because it doesn't really exist in my opinion. But yeah, her last name, hold please, and I will get it. Her last name is, I'm going to copy and paste it. Yeah, the lack of ethics. That is how you spell her last name. I just put it in the comments. I know. Isn't it convenient that it wasn't on the screen? I find that fascinating. The horror we just witnessed on Friday the 13th. You know, I should have planned this a little bit better today. It was just kind of crazy. This would have been fun to do like a Friday the 13th themed live stream. Halloween is coming. It's my favorite holiday. So just know that that's coming. And I do already have my Halloween costume. So All right. That is what I have for you guys tonight. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the gifted memberships. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for all of the comments. And, I try to say this as often as I possibly can, but I appreciate every comment, every like, every thumbs up, which, by the way, if you have not already thumbs upped, that seems awkward. The video, if you would do that, that would be amazing. Also, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Turn the little bell notification on so you get notified anytime I upload anything. And I'm going to go eat some dinner, hang with the fam. I hope you guys have a great day, or whatever time you're watching this. Shout out to the replay crew. And if you guys would drop me a science emoji after this is done doing its thing on YouTube and I'm no longer live. Drop me your just favorite science emoji, or your most shocking part of the video, whichever you want. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for being here. Don't join an MLM. And I'll see you next time. I should get this ready. I never do. Every single time. And then we sit here and I stare at you awkwardly for a moment, and then I find the outro. Okay, goodbye.